Okay, the first exercise we're going to learn this week is called the Paradiddle. It's a ridiculous word, but it's a fantastic rudiment. Something that some people find quite difficult. It's mentally challenging in the early stages, but it can be used for lots of things. So, it's basically made up of 2 single strokes and 1 double stroke. And what that does is reverses the sticking so that the next single stroke begins on the opposite hand. And so you do the next paradiddle, and you're back to the original sticking again. So it's quite useful on the drum kit and maybe on the timpani as well. So let's have a look. So if I just speak the words and play at the same time, the tempo will be Paradiddle, paradiddle. Okay, so that's the paradiddle. So now we're going to play that as an exercise. And again, as we did last time, we're going to speed it up, but we'll speed it up gradually in stages rather than progressively. Okay? Okay, good. Now, we're using the same technique as before with the closed hand and the open strike, but remember, as we increase the speed, we must relax and not use so much power. Okay, that's the paradiddle. Now then, the next exercise we're going to learn this week is called Digi Dig Bap Bap, another crazy drumming phrase. This exercise was taught to me when I was a child in a marching band. We used to have a guy called Graham Houghton come down and teach us, and he was fantastic. I'm not sure if he made this exercise up, but he probably did. Now, initially we're going to use this exercise to develop single stroke roll speed, but it can be used and will be used later on to develop other techniques such as the double stroke roll. Now it consists of 4 fast strokes and 2 slow strokes. The 2 slow strokes are half the speed of the first 4. Digi Dig Bap Bap. Now we do that twice, Digi Dig Bap Bap, Digi Dig Bap Bap, and then we double the phrase. So it's Digi Dig Bap 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 Bap, Digi Dig Bap Bap, Digi Dig Bap Bap, Digi Dig Bap 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 Bap. So we're going to repeat that, and every 2 cycles we will increase the speed slightly. We're using the same open strike technique, and as I keep saying, as we move forward, as we push forward with speed, we're going to relax and reduce the amount of power we're using from our arms. Okay, now whilst it's okay to lead with a strong hand, certainly on a snare drum in an orchestral situation or a marching drum situation, it's quite useful to be able to lead with both hands, particularly on the drum kit, or if you're using timpani or toms. It's quite useful to be able to lead with your left hand as well as your right hand, or lead with your weak hand as well as your strong hand. Personally, I'm right-handed, but I do like to try and keep my left hand as strong as I can. So we're going to now play this exercise leading with our other hand, the left hand, the weaker hand. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about practice. Now, whilst a teacher should provide everything you need to develop in terms of knowledge, and different teachers can inspire and challenge you in different ways, I would say the teacher's role is far less than 50% of what goes into your own personal development. In fact, I go so far as to say that it's less than 25%. The majority of what makes up your own personal development is created by yourself. This is in terms of your own practice, how you approach it, and how long you spend practicing. Now, whilst we can maximise our development through focused practice, we cannot develop with no practice whatsoever. And development will be slow or non-existent with poorly focused or sporadic practice. I would thoroughly recommend setting aside dedicated practice time every day, preferably at a time when you feel most alert and clear-headed, and try not to bring emotional problems into your practice. Initially, we will be practicing for up to 15 minutes with the exercises that have been introduced so far. This will grow to a minimum of 30 minutes per day, and as our technique advances, we will need to dedicate more time in order to maintain that technique and to allow for further development. Okay?